Hey everyone, I'm Laura McMillan. Welcome to day 14 of our 15-day Yoga for Athletes challenge. Today we're going to start on our backs. Have your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Place your hands on your rib cage. And let's start with a few deep breaths here. So as you inhale, breathe into the ribs, expanding them to either side. Exhale, let the ribs soften and knit back together. Do that a few more times at your own pace. Release, draw your right knee into your chest, first giving it a squeeze, and then extend your right heel up to the sky, remembering to keep a bend in your knee if your hamstrings are really tight. You'll start to walk your hands up your leg, just coming to the point where you can hold on to your leg comfortably and you're feeling a nice stretch for the back of the leg. If you can reach, come all the way up so that you can hook your peace fingers or your second and third finger around the big toe, and maybe you stay here. Also remember, you can come here with a bent leg. Otherwise, this is a good place to take a strap or a belt, something to wrap around the foot, and then you can hold it from there. Otherwise, you can take your hands somewhere lower on the leg. You can keep your left leg bent. If it's okay on the lower back, start to extend the leg out long, keeping the foot flexed so that the leg stays active. And place your left hand on the left thigh to help the leg stay grounded. And breathe here. Now you'll take your left hand to the outside of the right leg. So that could look like grabbing onto the outer edge of the right foot if it's available. It could look like holding onto the shin or even the thigh. Wherever your hand is though, and take your right arm out to the side as you draw the right leg just across the body. Not all the way across, but just at an angle so that you're feeling a stretch along the outside of the right leg and maybe even into the right hip. If this is far too intense, you can always keep a bent knee and just take it from that angle. Come on up to center. Now you're going to open the leg out wide. So maybe you come to the same place that you were when we took the leg straight up. You can keep the knee bent as you open out. Take the left arm out wide. And then wherever you are, start to open the right leg out to the side. Notice if your left hip is trying to roll up, try to keep it pressing down. Carefully come up to center, bend the leg, and release. Switching sides, start by drawing your left knee into your chest. Extend your left heel up, taking note that one side might be completely different than the other. So maybe you take the same variation with your arms and your hands, or maybe you go for something a little bit different. If it's okay on the lower back, lengthen out through the right leg, pressing through the heel, keeping the right leg active. Switch hands, taking the left leg into the right hand, remembering that the knee can be bent if you need. Take your left arm out to the side and take your leg just across the body. Carefully come back to center. Switch hands again. Either place your right hand on the right leg or open your right arm out wide and open the left leg. Come back to center, release. Bring yourself up to a seated position and place your hands behind your body. I have my hands facing me. If this is too much on the wrist, you can play with turning the hands out or even turning them behind you. Feet are parallel to the edges of your mat, and walk your feet far enough away so that you have room to lift the hips. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart. As you inhale, lift the hips up so that you're in a reverse tabletop position. You can keep a slight bend in the elbows, press yourself a little bit higher. You can keep your gaze straight ahead of you, or maybe you can look up. Just be careful not to drop the head back. Now from here, lift the right leg up with the knee bent, and then lower the right foot down. Lift the left leg up. Try to keep the hips steady. Notice if the opposite hip is trying to drop down. One more round like this. You can stay right there, or to go further, extend your legs out long, press the heels down, and lift your hips up. Try to keep your hips lifted, don't let them drop down. And then you can hold this or reach one leg up and down. Let's do one more set. Lower the hips down and relax. Take your feet about hip width apart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Round your spine, reach over the legs, feeling free to bend your knees as much as you need to. Carefully come up, make your way onto your hands and knees, and then step back to a high plank position. Shoulders over wrists, fingers spread wide, press the ground away from you. Take an inhale right here. As you exhale, send the hips back, downward dog. Feel free to find any movement that feels good, pedaling the feet, rotating the neck. And when you come back to center, pick the right leg up, bend the knee, start to open the hip. You can hold here or start to draw big circles with the knee, taking it one way and then the other. Straighten the legs, square the hips, look forward, bring your right foot up, either taking it to the inside of the hands or to the outside. Drop the back knee down, open the right arm, twist. Release, step back, downward dog. Other side, inhale to pick the left leg up. Start by bending the knee, open the hip. Draw big circles if you did so on the other side. And then square the hips, look forward, bring your foot toward the top of your mat, dropping down into a low lunge. Open the left arm, twist. Release, lower the left hand down, step back to downward dog. And then come all the way down, dropping the knees, send the hips over the heels, child's pose. Come back up to your hands and knees and return to a high plank. Place your right hand directly below your face, so place it into the middle of your mat. Start to spin to the outer edges of your feet. If this is too much today, you can drop the knee down like we did in a previous session. Otherwise, you can stagger the feet so that the left foot is in front of the right. Open the hips, squaring your chest to the left. You can stay here. If you want to go further, stack your left foot over the right, keeping the arm on the hip, or maybe take it over the ear. If you need more, you can lift the left leg up. Release, lower back down to a high plank. Other side, taking the left hand to the center of your mat, rotating to the outer edges of your feet. Remember, option to drop the knee down, stagger the feet, or stack the feet. Play with the arm position and maybe lift the right leg up. Wherever you are, just keep the hips lifting, reaching them away from the floor. Release, come back down, drop to the knees, take another child's pose. And then come back up to your knees once again. Come up to your knees, placing a blanket or a towel beneath the knees if you need to. Knees are directly below the hips. Toes can be untucked or you can tuck the toes under. Place your hands at your lower back. Roll the shoulders back. Start to reach your heart up for camel pose. From here, we're going to start to lean backward. Now you can stay right here if this is good. If you want to go further, reach your right fingertips down toward the heel, being careful not to collapse in the lower back, but instead keep reaching the heart up. Come back up to center. Maybe you take the left fingertips down, reach up. Lift up to center. You can do that again, or take both hands back toward the heels. Reach your heart up. Lift your gaze. Lengthen through the neck. When you're ready to release, return your hands to your lower back. Carefully come up. Sit back on the heels. And let's stretch the wrists while we're here. Shake them out and then come back to a seat. Feet are in front once again. This time take your right leg up. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh so you're in a variation of a figure 4 stretch. If this is not working for you, you can always come onto your back and take the stretch here. Otherwise, try it from this position. Foot is flexed, right knee is pressing away from you. If you need less of a stretch, you can walk your hands back behind you. If you want more of a stretch, walk your hands toward you and lengthen up through your spine. Back out of the pose a little bit to release the right leg, and we'll finish with the other side. Left ankle over right thigh, finding the spot that feels good to you today. Breathing into the hip. Back out of the stretch to release and come to a comfortable seat. Hands come together in front of the heart. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. You've made it through day 14, and I'll see you tomorrow on day 15. Namaste.